basically said, give me 5 years, you can quit your job, we'll travel the world, maybe you'll have some kids, and that's what we did.
I'm so excited because we're getting ready to drive into the middle of the desert where I'm meeting up with Jennifer Beadles. Jennifer became a millionaire by the time she was 25. She retired her husband at 29. She's the CEO of 3 different companies. She's able to travel all around the world, and not to mention, she's 4 months pregnant right now, and we didn't meet up for a tea party. She's been able to build a business that she's been able to create enough passive income that she only has to work 5 hours a week. That way she can do what she wants when she wants, like this on a random Wednesday. She invited me to ride along with her today, and I'm gonna ask her how she was able to build this ultimate lifestyle business. All while her husband drives us 75 miles per hour in this off-road vehicle.
Trav, we're feeling a little queasy back here. I'm having a hard time speaking without wanting to.
In addition to your investments, what are the 3 companies that you own?
We have agentsinvest.com. That's our nationwide referral agent business. And then we have addictedtoroi.com. That's our investor education business. And Door Profit is our software company.
You have it all. You have literally,
We try to cover all bases.
You covered all the bases. Talk about maximizing this industry too. How did you get started?
I was actually an investor first. And then I got really frustrated that agents didn't understand the investor business. So then I built my own investor business, and I figured I could get paid to learn from other investor transactions, but then also use that money to funnel into my own investments. It's brilliant.
On your 4th investment property, you quit your 9-to-5 job the day after closing. What the heck were you thinking?
Well, it wasn't intentional. I had a really bad day at work, so I just quit. And I never went back.
I mean, were you scared to take such a big leap?
Have you ever seen the movie Horrible Bosses?
Yeah.
So I had a really horrible boss. They went to the parking lot one morning, started yelling at me for not doing something that he hadn't told me to do, and then flew out of the parking lot, and I packed my stuff and left.
Good for you. Did you feel secure enough and this was the direction you wanted to head?
No. I mean, I did have a side hustle, so I got my agent license 6 months prior. There was a point where I did say, I think I could do this agent business part-time, but I wasn't really prepared in that moment to do that after literally just draining our bank account on this house hack duplex that we bought the day before. But when the timing is right.
How important is it to build your business around your lifestyle, and what advice do you have for people to help them identify what they really want?
So purpose is everything. I think when we don't have a sense of purpose, then I think it's really easy to drift. So we were just drifting there, right?
Literally as we're drifting right now.
So I just never wanted to drift through life. I've always been very goal-oriented. But I also grew up with my parents. They were business owners, and they had no freedom. They were really successful, but I felt like they were lacking in purpose of what this business was going to give them in terms of the lifestyle. And so I see so many people are sort of trapped in this quote-unquote high-paying job, trading 5 days for 2. And in my opinion, that for me personally, that's not a life worth living. I want to be out here.
When it comes to having that vision with your spouse, what are the 3 tips that you would give for getting on the same page with your spouse?
Yeah, so number 1 is you need to go away for a weekend, get out of your environment.
I love that.
And draw a map of what the end result looks like. And then number 2, we do a weekly money meeting. So every Friday at 11 a.m., we go over what we both accomplished in our businesses because we have very different roles. He's more operationally focused. I am very much opportunity focused. If I were doing this solo without Travis, we certainly wouldn't have the businesses that we have because I need him to handle the back end and make sure that the wheels don't come off the train, so to say. And also the money side is how much did we make year to date, month to date, and then we can course correct together. And then number 3 is really to find your role within the partnership. It took us a couple times. We certainly did not get it right in the beginning. So know that going into these things, it's going to be a work in progress, but ultimately it needs to be done in partnership.
You have a beautiful daughter and you're currently expecting.
Yes.
Which is super exciting and also epic that you're doing this, by the way. Thank you. So I want you to imagine something for a second.
Okay.
I want you to imagine that you're 60 years old and Dylan is 31. What have you built now? What have you set up for her to be successful and for her future generations to be successful?
So the most important thing is the knowledge that we've passed along. Even when Dylan was a really young age, we would take her to all of our projects and our properties and say, okay, like this property pays for our groceries and this property pays for our mortgage, and to start thinking differently. And that was really important. But now at 9 years old, she can tell you the 4 ways to make money. She understands Robert Kiyosaki's 4 quadrants.
Nice.
She is also an employee for us. So we want her to get experience as an employee. She has her own lemonade stand business with her friends. So she's self-employed in that business. She owns an Etsy shop where she gets to be a business owner. And then she has investments. I mean, at that point, even just the investments alone should make her pretty close to a millionaire. You know, we talk all the time about what her goals are. She has a goal to own a private island in Greece full of cats. She's going to rescue all the cats.
I love that. So can I come?
Yes.
I want to come visit.
Everyone will be invited. The top things that I think any parent should do: start a stock account. We put $100 a month and it's auto invested, auto withdrawn. By the time the child is 18, an 8% annualized return, they'll have about $48,000 in their account. Usually around age 6, you can start justifying paying your kids. Right now, the max for the Roth IRA is $7,000 a year. You start at age 6. They'll have about $150,000 by age 18. So the parents get the write-offs, the kids get, this tax-free account. In my opinion, those are really small moves that any parent can do to set their kid up for financial success.
Huge success. So what is this river?
It's actually part of the lake. That's Sorrow
That's
Lake.
the lake?
Yeah.
Who knew where there was a lake in the middle of the desert?
Yeah.
I had no clue.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Really beautiful. What a fun adventure.
The fact that you get to travel with Dylan all around the world, and next year you guys are spending the entire year away. What an incredible experience for this 9-year-old little girl to experience cultures and life, and how more well-rounded she'll be.
And I'll be honest, I mean, the only reason why we can do that is for the businesses that we own, but we built them around our lifestyle versus, I have a lot of other friends who have very successful businesses, but they cannot take time off. Without judgment, of course, but to me, it's very easy to put some systems and processes in place to have both.
Oh my God.
I'm going downhill.
I know there are so many women right now that have a business that are overwhelmed, that feel stressed out hiring employees. Maybe that they feel like no one else can do it like they can. How do you manage so much that you have? You're a mom, you're a spouse, you're doing business with your husband, you have multiple businesses. How do they build it where they don't have to be in it? Because you do all this, working 5 hours a week?
Yeah, now, obviously, right. I had a health coach at one point when I was very out of alignment, and she had this saying that really resonated with me, is that stress is a choice. How we respond to situations, we get to choose. So we can either respond with stress or with, okay, how can we solve this, right? And what is the lesson here? And so I had to really shift my mindset. And then number 2 is, what is the source of that stress? Is it because you're doing work that is not authentic to you, which means you're missing a who? Reframe each question. Instead of how, ask who. Who do I need in my life, or who do I know that has solved this, or could solve this for me, or could I bring into my life that's going to allow me to do the type of work that I want to be doing. Every entrepreneur, if you want to call her that, even just hiring a VA for 10 hours a week to get your time back, I think it's so incredibly important. So if you're listening to this, if you're experiencing burnout and you want to get to the next level, but you're fearful that it's going to mean more hours, find your who.
What advice do you have for the woman who's sitting on the fence? She's maybe a little afraid of taking a risk or buying that first or second real estate property, or even just setting up a self-directed IRA, whatever it is. What advice do you have for her to kind of push through that fear or limited belief?
I think number 1, don't be afraid to ask for help. As women, we want to sort of prove that we can do it. And we don't have anything to prove to anyone. I would say go for it, but I would also say find a group or a community or maybe another woman who can sort of be a sounding board for you, especially as you're just starting out. And then also, I don't want to discount the woman's intuition. It's such a powerful thing. And so if in your gut it feels right, go for it. For those of the women that are listening to this, if you're looking for permission to pursue your goals, like this is your permission. This is it. But if in your gut it doesn't feel right, then I would pause and I would lean into that and try to figure out, is it the person that you're working with? Is it the opportunity? Does it not feel authentic to you? And really just trust your gut. I'm feeling a little, yeah. Are you feeling a little queasy? Yeah. We're feeling a little queasy back here. I'm having a hard time speaking without wanting to
Throw up.
Ralph.
All right, so I end every episode with a $1 million question, and that's, if you had to start all over again today, what are your top 3 tips for becoming a millionaire?
Number 1 is go really deep on one skill set that's very, very valuable. Number 2 is trying to identify which customers would pay you the most and add more value than anyone else in the marketplace. And then number 3 is I would do one thing at a time and not use the shotgun approach, build a $1 million business, and then scale from there.
I love that. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. This has been awesome. We're going to go tear it up now before we puke.
Hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode, and be sure to watch the next video here.